So here's the thing. AI podcasts are literally everywhere right now. You know the ones I'm talking about. Two people sitting across from each other, having this deep, full-on conversation. Except, wait for it, neither of them is actually real. It's wild. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make one of these yourself, right inside VideoExpress 3.0. We're talking about two distinct characters having a real back-and-forth interview. We're going to get lip sync that actually matches the words perfectly. And the best part? Voices that stay completely consistent the whole way through. I'm going to take you from start to finish. It is super beginner friendly, and we aren't using any complicated, messy tools. By the end of this video, you will have everything you need to make your very first AI podcast episode. Let's get right into it. Oh, and by the way, if you don't actually know what VideoExpress is yet, or if you just haven't gotten your hands on a copy, don't worry. The links are right down there in the description, so go grab it. Now I want to show you a short clip, two versions of it, that I created specifically for this demo. Just keep in mind, the process I used for this little clip is the exact same no matter how long your podcast ends up being. 2 minutes, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. The steps don't change.
Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something I think everyone's been waiting for.
Thanks for having me. This is a topic I could talk about all day.
Let's start at the beginning. How did you first get into this?
Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something I think everyone's been waiting for.
Thanks for having me. This is a topic I could talk about all day.
Let's start at the beginning. How did you first get into this?
But quick note before we officially start. How does this actually work? Well, it all works because of a specific feature in VideoExpress 3.0, multi-character lip sync. Think about it this way. This is the engine that lets two characters talk independently, right there in the exact same scene. Now, I will say, there are a couple of small gotchas in this process. Little things that usually trip up beginners. But don't stress, I'm going to flag every single one of those for you as we go, so you don't fall into the same traps. Alright, let's start by creating our two hosts. Right off the bat, when building an AI podcast, we have two different visual approaches we can take. The first approach is to generate a single, wide-angle frame that has both the host and the guest sitting together at a table, sharing the screen at the same time. The second approach is the classic alternating camera setup, where we focus on one character at a time, switching the view back and forth depending on who is speaking. While the single frame setup might seem easier, the alternating single camera approach gives you a much more dynamic, professional feel, and it offers you total control in the editing phase. The most important rule of a podcast video: your two hosts have to look the same in every single clip. If their faces drift between segments, the illusion breaks instantly. So, we lock them in first. You've got two approaches here. You can generate your hosts straight from a text prompt inside VideoExpress, but I'll let you in on something. You get far more control over how your characters look if you generate them first in a dedicated image tool, then bring those images in. So that's what I'm going to show you. My two favorite tools for this are ChatGPT's image generator and Nano Banana. That's the nickname for Google's Gemini image model. Both are excellent, and the workflow is identical for either one. The absolute secret to getting a great image that will actually work for AI lip syncing is keeping the face clear, forward-facing, and well-lit. If a character is looking away, looking down at the desk, or if their face is covered in heavy cinematic shadows, the lip sync engine will struggle to map the facial movements accurately, and the result will look warped. Here's the key thing for a podcast. If you want both hosts in a single image, sitting across from each other, the lighting, the studio, and the framing all should match perfectly. Generating them together solves the two different sets problem before it ever happens. If you want realistic human hosts, use a prompt like this. Two podcast hosts sitting across from each other at a wooden table in a modern studio, both wearing headphones, microphones on the table between them, warm, soft lighting. One is a woman in her 30s in a mustard sweater, the other is a man in his 40s in a navy blazer. Photorealistic, shot on a cinema camera, shallow depth of field. If you want cartoon or Pixar-style animated hosts instead, just swap the style cues. Two friendly 3D animated podcast hosts sitting across from each other at a table. Pixar-style characters with big, expressive eyes, headphones on, microphones on the table, colorful modern studio background, soft, warm lighting, large head proportions for charm, high-quality 3D render. If you want to generate the images separately, here are the prompts. Let's start by generating the host. In the prompt box, you need to be highly specific to dictate the mood, the lighting, and the setting. Enter a prompt like, a photorealistic medium shot of a 40-year-old male podcast host. He has short brown hair, a neat beard, and is wearing a black t-shirt. He is sitting behind a professional broadcast microphone. The background is a dark, moody studio with soft blue neon lighting. 4K resolution, cinematic lighting, ultra detailed, looking directly into the camera lens with a neutral, closed mouth. That last part, the closed mouth, is absolutely essential. If the AI generates an image where the person has an open mouth or visible teeth, the lip sync engine will essentially overlay a second moving mouth on top of the open one, and it instantly ruins the illusion. Hit generate and review your options. Pick the one that looks the most natural and save it to your media library. Next, generate the guest. We want a distinct visual contrast, so the viewer instantly recognizes that we have switched camera angles. For the guest, enter a prompt like, a photorealistic medium shot of a 30-year-old female technology expert wearing a smart casual blazer. She is sitting in a brightly lit, modern office with bookshelves in the background. Cinematic lighting, soft depth of field, looking directly at the camera with a neutral, closed mouth. Generate the image, pick the best variation, and save it to your library. You now have your multi-camera visual setup locked and loaded. Step 3. Write or generate your script. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual conversation itself, the meat of the podcast. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to handle this. You can either write it out yourself, or you can just let AI do the heavy lifting for you. Let's break this down. First up, the manual way. Look, if you already know exactly what you want your hosts to say, you can literally just write it out as a back-and-forth dialogue. But here is the absolute most important thing to remember here. Keep each line short. I'm talking strictly 1 or 2 sentences per turn. No huge monologues. Now, there's actually a technical reason why we need to do it this way, which I promise you'll see in just a minute, but honestly, doing it this way also just makes for way better, more watchable podcasting. When you're typing it out, keep the formatting super simple. It should look something exactly like this. You write, host, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something I think everyone's been waiting for. Then, guest. Thanks for having me. This is a topic I could talk about all day. And back to the host. Host. Let's start at the beginning. How did you first get into this? See what we did there? Natural, conversational, short turns. Seriously, that's the entire formula. But what about the AI-assisted way? Listen, if you are staring at a blank screen and you really don't want to write this from scratch, just generate it. It's so easy. Open up literally any AI chat assistant you like and give it a prompt that looks exactly like this. Write a natural 2-person podcast conversation between a host and a guest about, insert your topic here. Keep each turn to 1 or 2 sentences. Make it sound casual and conversational, and write about 8 exchanges back and forth. Boom! You will get a completely ready-to-use script in literal seconds. From there, all you have to do is read through it. Tweak any words that sound a little too stiff or robotic, and you're done. But here's the thing. Whether you type it out by hand or let an AI write it for you, the end goal is exactly the same. You need a perfectly clean back-and-forth script where you know exactly which line belongs to which host. Make sure that is crystal clear, because it really matters for the next step. Alright, now here is where it all actually comes together inside VideoExpress 3.0. First, let's talk about how dialogue actually functions in the software. Inside VideoExpress, you are going to enter your dialogue straight into the video prompts section. But here is the key. You have to specifically tell it who says what. You are essentially directing the AI, explicitly stating which character is speaking which line. That is exactly how the system knows whose mouth it needs to sync to which words. Now, for the really important part, I call this the 10-second rule. Every single time you generate a take, it creates a clip that is roughly 10 seconds long. That means you are not generating your entire podcast episode in one giant go. we build it piece by piece. Here is the exact step-by-step workflow you're going to use. First, you pick your base scene. In our case, I am going to choose this one right here. Next, you type in your action prompt. For this, I'm typing, 2 people having a friendly conversation over a podcast. Next, we need to specify the roles. This is crucial. You must define who the host is and who the guest is based on your image. Keep it incredibly simple. I'll type, the man in the blue blazer is the host and the woman is the guest. Finally, you enter a chunk of dialogue that can roughly fit into that 10-second window. So I'll type something like, now the host says, and then paste in his dialogue line. When you're ready for the next part of the script, you just repeat this process for the next clip. The action prompt, the image, the roles, all of that stays exactly the same. All you do is swap out the dialogue and change who is saying it. This is exactly why I told you earlier to plan your conversation in short, back and forth beats. A line from your host, a line from your guest. That usually adds up to a perfect 10-second take. It's not just good podcasting, it directly fits how VideoExpress generates the video. Okay, before we move on to the next step, I need to warn you about the biggest gotcha in this whole workflow. This will trip you up if you aren't actively looking out for it. Every time you generate a new clip, the AI might give your characters a completely different voice. So, if you don't actively lock those voices down, your host is going to sound like a totally different person in every single 10-second segment. And your whole AI illusion just instantly falls apart. The fix is simple, and you do it once, up front. Before you start generating all your segments, choose a specific voice for each of your 2 characters, and save it to the voice library. One saved voice for your host, one saved voice for your guest. Now both voices are locked and named, ready to reuse. Then, here's the actual workflow for keeping voices consistent across the whole episode. First, generate your clip with the dialogue for that segment.
Thanks for having me. This is a topic I could talk about all day.
Now, to change voice, you can simply choose the clip inside the media library and right-click on it. And then, choose the voice changer option. Select the saved voice from your voice library, the right one for whichever character is speaking in that clip. You can repeat the same process of changing the voice with the clip on the timeline editor if you have one.
Thanks for having me. This is a topic I could talk about all day.
Repeat that for every segment. It's a few extra clicks, but it's the difference between a podcast where your hosts sound like themselves the whole way through and one where they randomly change voices every 10 seconds. Do this every time and your audio stays rock solid. And one setting to flip on before you generate: HD lip sync mode. For a podcast where faces are on screen the whole time, the tighter mouth sync is worth the extra render time. Now, you just work through your script, segment by segment. A beginner tip: don't aim for a 30-minute epic on your first try. Make a 2 to 3 minute episode first. Get the rhythm of generate, add, change voice, repeat. See how the segments stitch together. Then, scale up. Your first AI podcast doesn't need to be long. It needs to be finished. Last step, bring it all together. Your segments are already going onto the timeline as you generate and drag them. Now, put them in order. Merge them into one continuous episode, and trim any awkward pauses at the start or end of each clip, so the conversation flows naturally. A few finishing touches that make it feel like a real podcast. Add a short intro card with your show's name. Drop in some soft background music underneath. Keep it low so it doesn't fight the voices. And export in the right format. For YouTube, that's 16:9. For Reels, Shorts, or TikTok, switch to 9:16. And that's it. A finished 2-person AI podcast episode with consistent hosts and consistent voices start to finish. That's the whole workflow. Generate your 2 hosts in ChatGPT or Nano Banana, bring them into VideoExpress, write or generate your script, enter the dialogue, save a voice for each character, then generate in 10-second segments and apply your saved voices from the timeline. Beginner friendly, and the result genuinely looks like a real podcast. And if you want a follow-up where I go deeper into creating longer videos with VideoExpress, let me know and I'll make it. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.